old thinking, yet expecting different results. And part of the idea of being disappointed is at some point we're going to have to change our thinking and have to change our words. Amen, somebody. Amen. We're going to change this. If we're going to address disappointment, our thinking has to be changed, and also our words have to be changed. So read this with me, please. Your mindset matters. Next one. Change your mindset, change your life. Now what happens? Not only does the mindset matter, what else? Your words matter. So do what? Change your words, change your life. So this idea, so I want to explore just for a moment, this idea about the a source of disappointment. Give us 3 of those. And then talk about primarily what is the primary source of disappointment. Again, how many have ever been disappointed again? So we want to talk about how do we end up managing the disappointment better. So here's one example of why we're disappointed: because of past experiences. If you ring somebody's doorbell and they throw water on you, and you go back again and they throw water on you, the 3rd time they throw water on you, can't get upset because you already know what the experience is going to be. You can. If you know it's somebody, all the women in here, if that man said he was going to pick you up at 7 o'clock for a date, and you got all your hair all did and looking all nice and everything, and they show up the first time at 8 o'clock, the next time at 9 o'clock, at some point you can't get so disappointed because of all of the past experiences. I know that y'all have been holding all your lives, but I remember back in the day, one of my friends was going to pick me up to go to the party of all parties. And I remember my mom had this back, this is back in the day. It had a denim, jeans, denim, and a vest. And it had suede going right down here. Had suede going down the side. And it covered my stomach. Oh yeah, I was looking good. And I'm up there, and so the guy said he's going to pick me up. Because the party started at 9, so you can't show up at 9 o'clock. He said he's going to pick me up at 9, which meant we're going to be there at 9:30. So 1:45, I'm working my last little moves. 10 till 9, I'm working. It's 11 o'clock. This boy shows up bringing my doorbell. We get to the party and the party is over and asked me to pick me up for the next party that came up as well. I had some past experiences, and had I continued to expect more, I was going to be disappointed. So sometimes past experiences can lead to disappointment. Read this with me, please. I love what Dr. Maya Angelou said. When people show you who they are, believe them. If they show you they steal, believe them. If they show you they lie, believe them. People will always show. Now they may not show you initially, but after a while, if you're going to show you who they are, and she says, believe them. Now read this right here, please. You will end up really disappointed if you think people will do for you as you do for them. Not everyone has the same heart as you. See, you thought because you're going to be on time, they're going to be on time. And as a result of that, so here's what happens. We are disappointed because we think folk going to act like we act. When my wife and I always tell me, she said, people just don't think like we think. And as a result of that, because we think because we have our heart, everybody's going to have that heart as well. So past experiences would be a source of disappointment. Here's another source. Promising explorations. Now, what are we talking about here? Promising explorations. How many of us have ever known people who are trying to go back and get involved with every get-rich-quick scheme in the world? Every Friday night, they over here at the Clarendon Hotel paying $99 over here. Over at the Marriott paying $199. And the person presenting in front of them will show nice pictures of them being at the Super Bowl and the Final Four for the NCAA and also at the World Series. But the reason that person can go is because all these folk in the audience give them $99 to be able to go themselves. And folk always looking for something. So here's what happens. Many people keep pursuing things that never work out. They're going from one scheme to another scheme. Now, it may sound promising, and they're doing everything they can because somebody made a promise to them, and they thought, even though the past has shown them it didn't work, they keep going from one scheme to another scheme to another scheme. Please read this. We cannot put in minimum effort and get maximum results. Isn't that right? If you want to end up having maximum results, we got to put in maximum effort. And everybody's trying to just do this little thing right here. Too many are trying to get over, get rich, get successful too quickly, and always trying to find the shortcut instead. One of the former presidents of Bennett College, I love what the Dr. Jones, Alice Jones, you say, he would forbid the young ladies to walk across the grass because he says there are no shortcuts in life. And too many of us, even believers, are trying to find a shortcut. The point is, you can't put in minimum effort and get maximum results instead. Now what happens here? You can't get something for nothing. Amen? If somebody promises you something for nothing, run. You cannot get something. Now, you all remember that. I know y'all know the Lion King. But even see, somewhere in there, Little Mermaid got put to the side. And y'all need to remember Little Mermaid because they had a really famous name in there. So what you had was Ariel here was the Little Mermaid. Y'all recall the story? And she was swimming all around up under the sea. And then Ursula was the witch of the sea. That's Ursula right there. And Ursula wanted Ariel's voice. Well, Ariel had gone up to the surface one day and met a prince named Eric. Now, I didn't create this. I'm just letting you know what the name was. Now, I'm just letting you know. That's what the name was. And so she decided she wanted to no longer be a mermaid. She wanted to now go be a human and walk and have two legs instead. So Ursula said, that's what it said right here, at this point, I hereby grant unto Ursula, the witch of the sea, my one voice for all eternity. Signed, Ariel. And as a result, she goes over and expected she could get something for nothing. And the story goes on eventually, Eric saved the day. So the idea was, the point is you cannot always find yourself trying to get something for nothing. Please read this. Something for nothing now may cost you everything later. Come on now, come on. Trying to barely get by today. And I'm telling you, as a believer, I'm so glad that Jesus did not take a shortcut. I'm so glad that Jesus did not send somebody else to the cross. He was the only one qualified to go to the cross and die for your sins and my sins. And as a result, he shows us that when we put forth maximum effort, we can have maximum results. Something for nothing now is going to always cost you something later. What's another source of disappointment? Painful expressions. Now, what are we talking about here? Anybody ever had somebody come at you wrong? That you in church, at work, in a family reunion, come at you wrong. Now, what are we saying here? There are sometimes people may be able to say the right things, but in the wrong way. And it's come at us wrong. What are we talking about here? And some of us got some people in our lives who are just toxic. They've been around our lives. They've been hanging around like a little leech all this time. And they just toxic. And what does it mean to be toxic? Well, right here is very clear. It's things or people who poison our hearts. Toxic. And y'all can't see this too well. We're in the sanctuary, it'd be much bigger. It says right here, recognizing and removing hidden dangers. Now here's the point. Some of those toxic people in our lives, they're not so hidden. They are poisoning our heart. They hear you were all positive. They show up, start talking negative, and after a while you start thinking negative. Here you are talking about praising the Lord. They start cussing. After a while, cuss word comes to your mind. So all these toxic folk around here. And as a result of this, now, and I love what Proverbs 4:23 NIV says. It says, above all else, guard your heart. For everything you do flows from it. Guard your heart. You got to protect your heart. You got to guard that heart closely and carefully and get away from toxic people. So let me just give you a few characteristics. I know you got rid of all of them, but let me remind you when you go to work tomorrow about some folk that have some toxic people. These are just a few characteristics of toxic people. And as a result of this, here's what happens. We're disappointed because we keep believing toxic people are not going to be toxic. If they're going to show you they're toxic, believe them. And so what happens? They are always speaking badly about others. Always negative, lack compassion. They don't have a compassionate bone in their body. You tell them some bad news, they start laughing. Constantly got some drama. Anybody got some folk in your life that always got drama going on? You know, there's a gift that you can have from the Lord when people always have constant drama. It's called call blocking. That you don't let all those things come in here. Constant, you know they come up some drama going on. They'll lie to you. They always talk more than they listen. They always play the victim even when they're getting impeached. So the idea that they lose their temper, they have to be right, and they treat others poorly. Y'all know some toxic people? Y'all don't think I'm doing this right. Here we go. Then they insist on controlling you, have addiction issues. They are extremely manipulative. These are the people that try to go back in and try to manipulate you into doing something you don't want to do. Well, if you really were a Christian, you would help me out. Well, so manipulation. What they do, they love to gossip. And here's the point. They don't just love it. They don't just repeat what they heard. They add something juicy to it. So they got a single double burger, and they made a triple double burger by the time. They always add something to it. They will, watch this right here. I love this one. They always take up your time. Always. Don't answer the phone unless you got 15 hours because they're toxic. They are very self-absorbed. Now watch this part right here. They will disrespect boundaries. You ever had a conversation going on with a couple people, and somebody just busts up into your conversation and asks what you're talking about? You say, you? So they don't respect boundaries. These are toxic folk, and I'm saying as a result of this, these toxic people, if we're not careful, will lead us to be disappointed every time. So read this with me, please. No matter how badly someone treats you, never drop down to their level. Remain calm, stay strong, and bounce. So the idea is that at some point, there has to be a time where we are not going to allow ourselves to always get dragged down by folk who are toxic. People who are toxic don't even try, sometimes don't even want to try to get well. They want to poison you because they've been so poisoned themselves. So listen to this right here. Listen carefully how a person speaks about other people to you. Because it's going to be a matter of time because they're going to speak about you to other people. Can you say amen to that? Amen. If they don't run talking, if they don't come to you and talk about person A, eventually they're going to go to person A and talk about you. And all these toxic people in our lives. So here's the question. We talked about these other points, but here's the question. What is the real source of disappointment? Well, I'm asking y'all the question. What's the real source of disappointment? That poorly managed expectations. The real source of this point of disappointment. So in other words, disappointment only occurs when expectations are not met. Think about it now. Disappointment only occurs when expectations are not met. So the primary source of being disappointed, we're going to see it in the word with our scripture today, the primary reason is having poorly managed expectations. Now what's disappointing then? It means failing to fulfill someone's hopes or expectations. Here were the hopes, here were the expectations, and they were not fulfilled. Now, I love this. This is what I want you to really see. Read this with me, please. Disappointment is the gap that exists between expectation and reality. Isn't that good? Now watch the little schematic over here. So here were expectations, and here was reality. They told you they were going to show up at 4 o'clock and showed up at 7 o'clock. We did a wedding, not here, not there. We did a wedding in down east a couple years ago. The wedding was supposed to start what, 2 o'clock? 4. What time it started? 6 o'clock. I'm telling you right now. And then everybody's fine. It's supposed to start at 4. 5 o'clock comes around. 6 o'clock comes around, and everyone's okay with that? At some point, the expectation, the reality did not meet the expectation. And I'm saying that disappointment only occurs when we find our reality not meeting expectation. So if my reality and expectation meet, there's no disappointment, right? If I'm expecting, if they told me that at 10 o'clock I can pick up the food on Saturday and it's ready at 10 o'clock, not disappointed. If they told me 10 o'clock and it's not ready till 11 o'clock, disappointment. There's a gap that exists, isn't that right? Between expectation and reality. So read this with me, please. Stop trusting, supporting, believing someone unworthy of your trust, support, and belief. Amen. Amen. So what's expectation? A strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. Read this with me, please. Sometimes we